Hello everyone, welcome to my channel on data analytics. I am your host Professor Rage Uday Kiran. In this video, we are going to learn about multiple time series databases and how to create them. The outline of the presentation is as follows. First, we learn about multiple time series databases and how to represent them. Next, we discuss the rules the users have to follow in order to create multiple time series databases. Next, with the application, we tell you how to create a multiple time series database. For that, we use multiple sensor data generated by the Soramame system. Then we finally give a small demo on how to create a multiple time series data. First, to learn multiple time series, we first have to know what is a time series. Basically, a time series represents a temporally ordered sequence of values. For example, assume a sensor has been kept to measure air pollution at once in every 8 hours. Okay, then the time series data generated by that sensor represents the time series. In the time series, it represents an event. Each element in a time series represents an event. Collection of events represents a time series. So if we plot the time series, then the graph looks in this way. Okay, the at first timestamp or at the first position, the PM 2.5 observed is 80, next 45, next 50, 60, 65. Then there is a fall in PM 2.5 value, so the value is 40 and so on. So this represents a time series. Now when we talk about multiple time series, then we are talking about time series data generated by multiple objects simultaneously. So assume we are having the time, that is day and hours. Now for this data we have multiple sensors that are recording various levels of PM 2.5 values. The 8 hourly data generated by these sensors represent multiple time series. If we visualize the multiple time series, the figure is shown here. Okay, so such a data represents multiple time series. Now let us see how we can represent multiple time series databases. So in the simplistic sense, a time series data can be modeled as a transactional database, a temporal database, and utility database also. Very simplistic terms. But the problem with these approaches is that we cannot capture the order of occurrence of a phenomenon. For example, we can say that point 00, point 10, and point 01 are the locations where high levels of pollution was observed. We can only tell that information. Okay, but if we do not capture the occurrence order, we cannot tell that PM 2.5 value was first observed at point 0001 and then it was later observed at a different place. If we want to find that orderly information, we cannot capture it. To capture the occurrence order of the time series, what we try to do is we try to represent multiple time series data as a sequence database. But the important point to keep in mind is that these sequence databases are distinct from the sequence databases we discussed previously. If you have not gone through the process of creating a sequence database, please check the link provided above. Now, coming to the sequence database, let us see how we convert a multiple time series. Assume we have the multiple time series data. Now, what we do is, in the first step, with respect to the time, we split the data into segments. Okay, here we have 3 days, day 1, day 2, day 3. So we have split the multiple time series data into 3 segments, which are segment sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3. Once we have this data, we transform it into a multiple time series where we say that at 00 hours, point 01 has appeared. Similarly, at 0 hours, point 1010 has appeared. At 8 hours, point 00 has appeared. Similarly, at 8 hours, point 01 has appeared in the similar way. So, in this way, we create multiple time series database. So, the representation is fine, but if the user wants to create these multiple time series databases, the important question that comes in mind is what are the rules he has to follow. The user has to follow four three simple rules. First one, a multiple time series data is organized as events. So, an event is a pair containing timestamp and the object. So, the first element in the event must always be a timestamp and followed by an object. And when we define a sequence is nothing but a collection of objects. So when you are defining the sequence, please ensure that the duplicate events should not happen. For example, object can appear in different events, but the timestamps have to be different. In other words, events should be should not have duplicates. And another point is irregular time gaps can exist between the events. It's not a problem. And then a multiple time series data is very simply a collection of events. So please keep in mind that in multiple time series, the number of elements can be different. They need not be the same. The size of each sequence can be different. Now let us see how do we create a multiple sensor time series from multiple sensor data. For this again we are going to use the air pollution data generated by the Aero system. As we know, this system generates hourly air pollution data for various sensors. What we can do is using the domain knowledge, that is PM 2.5 values greater than 35 are dangerous to the people. So using this domain knowledge, we can write a simple binary function which can convert the quantity data into the binary format. Once we have this binary data set, we can write a simple program that can convert this binary data frame into a multiple time series by simply grouping the rows with respect to day and ordering them by time. For example, if we look here, the first day is 1. So the first row is 1. In this, at timestamp 0, S1 has appeared. Similarly, at timestamp 0, S2 has appeared. Similarly, at timestamp 0, Sn has appeared. So we keep writing like this. Similarly, for the next day, we say at 1, there is no 00 hours here. So we say that at 1 hour, S1 has appeared. At 1 hour, S2 has appeared. At 1 hour, S3 has appeared. Now, when we go to 2 hours, we can see that S1 did not appear, S2 did not appear, whereas S1 has appeared. So, we simply say that at 2 hours, Sn has appeared. So, in this way, we create a multiple time series database. Now, let us do a small demo in which we try to create a time series database. So, to do it, I am going to use the terminal. So, let us say vi multiple time series dot txt. So, I am creating the file. So, each row represents a point, a period of time or a window of time. So, I will say at 00 hours, sensor 1 has appeared. At 00 hours, sensor 6 has recorded high levels of pollution. Sensor 7 has recorded high levels of pollution. Then at times at 1 hour, no sensor has recorded high levels of pollution, but sensor at 2, sensor 8 has recorded. Similarly, at sensor 8, sensor 9 has recorded. At timestamp, let us say 6 hours, S1 has recorded. 6, S9 has recorded. So this way we can write. Next, we can also say S2 at 2, S4 at 2 hours, S7 has observed. At 4 hours, S8 has observed. So the events in each sequence can also be different. S2, 3, S3, 4, S3. This is fine. So in this way, we create multiple time series databases. So these datasets can later be fed to the corresponding pattern mining algorithms to discover interesting sequences of patterns for application reasons. Thank you very much for listening and viewing our video. If you liked our work, please press the like button and subscribe to our channel for interesting updates. If you want to know more about multiple time series databases, please check the link provided below. Thank you.